All right, so today we're diving into something pretty interesting.
Yeah, this should be a good one.
A legal complaint filed with the Maryland office of the Attorney General.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And the main player making these accusations is a guy named Nicholas Miles,
Okay.
and he is alleging misconduct against Edward Sabatino and Jeff Thompson.
Got it.
So what we have to work with is a letter
Okay.
from the Assistant Attorney General,
Mhm.
Warren Davis III,
Okay.
to Nicholas Miles acknowledging
Right.
the receipt of the complaint
Makes sense.
and kind of laying out the first steps in this process.
Yeah. So, like, what are they going to do about it, you know?
Exactly. And one thing that really jumped out at me in this letter
Okay.
was a request for documentation of any kickbacks involved.
Oh, kickbacks.
Kickbacks.
Oh.
Yeah. Now that's a word that piques the interest, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. That's a loaded word.
What could that mean?
Right. Like, what are we talking about
Yeah,
here?
yeah.
Are we talking money? Are we talking favors?
What kind of favor?
I mean, who knows, right? Could be anything.
Yeah, you're right. Could be.
It really just opens up a whole can of worms about
Yeah.
power dynamics and the ethical considerations here.
It's like we're getting a peek behind the curtain. you know?
Exactly.
Exactly. Now, the letter itself is pretty formal, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah, very much so.
It's got all this legal jargon in it.
Right. It's like they pulled it right out of a textbook or something.
Yeah, it's like to expedite the investigation.
Right, right.
And any documentation in your possession.
Yeah, all that very official language.
It sets a serious tone for sure.
It does, and I think that formality really highlights how serious this is.
Right.
The Attorney General's office is involved.
Mhm.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
They don't just get involved in any little dispute.
Right.
Their job is to investigate potential legal violations.
Okay.
So, this complaint is being taken very seriously.
So this could have some real consequences.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, the letter goes on to request some very specific information from Nicholas Miles.
Like what?
They're asking for any documentation that supports his allegations.
Okay, sure.
Anything related to these alleged kickbacks.
Right.
And even names and addresses of potential witnesses.
Oh, wow. So they're really building a case here.
Yeah, they're really putting together a puzzle.
They want to get all the pieces.
Exactly. And for you, the listener, I think
Yeah.
this really emphasizes how important documentation is.
It really does.
Anytime there's like an allegation of misconduct.
Well, yeah, think about it.
Yeah.
If you were ever in a situation like this,
Right.
would you have the evidence to back up what you were saying?
It makes you think, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, it's super important to remember that
Yeah,
at this point, we are just talking about allegations.
right.
Sabatino and Thompson are presumed innocent until proven otherwise.
Of course, due process is essential.
Exactly. We can't jump to any conclusions.
No, definitely not.
This letter is just the very beginning.
Right. The first step in a long process.
Who knows what the outcome's going to be?
Nobody knows at this point.
But what can we take away from this?
Wow.
Even at this early stage, this case
Yeah,
really raises questions about business practices
for sure.
and ethical considerations.
Definitely. Like, where do you draw the line?
Yeah. Are the systems in place enough?
Right? Like, are we doing enough to prevent these kinds of situations?
Makes you think.
It really does. And it makes you wonder what role individuals can play, too.
Yeah, like how can we as individuals
Right.
ensure that things are fair and transparent?
Exactly.
It's a reminder to stay informed, stay curious,
Absolutely.
keep asking those questions.
Yeah. Never stop questioning.
Who knows what kind of deep dive we'll stumble upon next.
That's the fun of it.
All right, that's all the time we've got for today.
Well, thanks for having me. This was really interesting.
Thanks for joining us,
Yeah, anytime.
and we'll see you next time
Sounds good.
for another deep dive.
Looking forward to it.